I guess I just want this for like video proof for the future or whatever. I left the apartment because I don't want to be there without my daughter. I'm tired of looking at her bed and all her stuff. So I got a hotel that's close to the airport and the bus station. And I booked a ticket to the nearest beach. Because I just want to see the ocean for the first time. And of course, you know, my husband hasn't contacted me or tried to call or anything. Even though when I left, it was under, you know, pretenses of. So that's okay. Is that like talking to that girl, pretending that I don't exist and his children don't exist and his family all the same? His mom won. She can have my children. I don't care anymore. And I'm thinking about if I should text my therapist and see if she has a session between now and tonight, which is when I'm leaving, but it's Greyhound. I probably won't be leaving on time. That would actually be shocking. But I don't know if I'm having, I don't know. There's just too much going on for me. It's just too much. And I guess I'm just weak because I can't handle it. And everyone else is fine. And regardless of if they're all on drugs or not, you know, because I'm the one who's sober and I guess I just can't handle it. So I don't know what's gonna happen after that. I don't know if I want to come back here. I have no one here. So it doesn't really matter where I go. It honestly doesn't matter. But I chose the beach because I don't know. Like, I hope it'll help me like reflect a little bit on life and maybe like renew some sense of purpose or something, or help me see a bigger picture or something. I was like, do I sound like someone who's in a mental episode? Like, do I? But all these situations, I can't get my life together. There's always some kind of chaos following me. There's all these diagnoses following me. And now I'm starting to think, like, am I just an unmedicated psycho? Or am I being abused? Or am I the abuser? Or is what I'm doing reactive abuse? Or am I just irresponsible running from all my problems? Am I trying hard enough? Am I not trying hard enough? But how I feel now is that I'm kind of, not kind of, but like, I am actually, like, really having a hard time, like, actually living. Like, I'm having a hard time. And, like, I'm calm enough to say, like, okay, if this was a one-off incident, like, if this was like a one-off incident and, you know, I was feeling this way because I'm just pregnant, obviously, I've been feeling this way since before I got pregnant. Something has been going on for so long. And, like, after, you know, the self-hitting stuff happened again the other day, yesterday, I'm just kind of like, so I feel like I'm going down that same path as my mom, where she just had to be medicated her entire life. And she literally was like, I don't know, like, to me growing up with her, she was stable, but like she was not. there, like, I felt no connection to her. Because, like, emotionally, she was just like, she didn't really react to nothing until, you know, like, her medication would, whatever, like, she would need, like, a medication adjustment or something. Like, repeating that was definitely not my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare fears were so focused on me having children and, like, repeating the dynamic of my childhood for them. But, like, I didn't think about, like, I didn't think about this about me, like, following the same path as my mom. Like, I didn't think about that part of it until, like, recently, when stuff is just starting to, I don't know. And if you've ever seen that, like, I don't want to call it a meme, but the image where it's the grandma and then the grandma, it's like an animation. The grandma passes the trauma to the mom, but then the mom holds the trauma and she puts, like, the little crown on her daughter's head. That, like, little visual. I'm just like, why am I feeling the need to put so much pressure on myself to keep this from happening to me, keep this from happening to my daughter, keep this from happening to my son? Like, why I'm dying under this pressure? Because nobody else cares. No one else cares. And now I'm starting to feel like, well, why should I care either? And I feel like if I continue trying to, like, fight against that end result, like, the harder I'm fighting against repeating the cycle, the more, like, red lights are popping off that I'm getting closer and closer and closer to actually becoming, like, just living in that nightmare all over again. But now I'm my mom, my husband is my dad, my daughter is me, my son is who my brother was. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, I can already see how this is going to play out. I feel like if I stay, like, whether I stay and take the route of becoming a single mom, I'll end up like my half sibling's mom. if I leave, now let me put it like this. If I stay with my husband and go on the medications, go on sedatives, I will become like my mom. He can do whatever he wants, be more and more controlling, more and more abusive, and I just won't react to it anymore. And then if I leave and become a single mom, I'm like my half sibling's mom. I just feel like the only path that like preserves any type of identity for myself is to just leave on my own. Because I feel like like I don't feel at home anywhere. And I'm starting to feel like, okay, to get out of this, like something drastic has to be done. Nothing I'm doing is working, and I'm in this alone. Like, I feel like now the perspective is going from, okay, I left my family, to I was successfully pushed out of my family by their behavior. And then I'm like, okay, obviously it's happening again with my in-laws. Like, I'm successfully getting shoved out of the picture. No one wants me around. No one cares. Why should I care? Everyone's trying to discredit me as a mother and tell me, you're not responsible, you don't have your life together, you're a child, you're a bitch, you're mean, you're disrespectful. You don't have it together. You're mentally ill. You need to be on medication. You're crazy. You're a liar. You're manipulative. And then anytime I hear something positive about myself, it's from a stranger who doesn't know me. As soon as anyone gets to know me, that's the conclusion. So obviously, I should just leave. Like, over the years, I've done so much, like, introspection and journaling and quizzes and thinking and just all this inner work to find my identity, only for me to end up married and be told that no one knows who I am. My husband doesn't know who I am. Comments about my personality. No one can peg a personality on me. And apparently that's why I get all this judgment. He's tired of hearing all the terrible things that happen to me. He wants to hear something positive about my life, and but he's the negativity since I met him. Shit with my family started becoming more clear. Like, that dynamic started becoming more clear since I met him, because I was spending more time away from them, away from my parents, and they did not like that. But in the end, I'm the one who's now running away. Being told that I don't take accountability for anything. And I would just rather be left alone. And whatever happens, just happens. And I don't want to drag my kids into it. And I guess they're not even my kids, right? Because people are taking pictures of them before I barely see them in the hospital. Nobody's asking me permission for anything. Nobody's considering my feelings. Everybody's telling me I'm controlling over my decisions that I'm trying to make for them. So how am I a mom if I can't even make decisions for my own children because people are discrediting me and not valuing me all the way to that point where people think that they can send photos of my children without asking me to other family members. Print out these photos. Tell me who can be around my children, random men, and tell me I'm wrong for getting angry over it. Sleeping in the bed with my daughter, and my husband's not paying attention. He doesn't know that it happened in his own house. But I'm being controlling, and I'm doing too much over my kids. Yet I'm also so horrible and disgusting. I don't love them at all. I see them as pawns to use. And I swear, I used to be able to be like, okay, like a Buddhist take on it, where it's like life is suffering, and suffering is necessary in life, and it serves a purpose, and you know, just thinking about the Bible, and there's so many stories of like people going through the same thing, and God just makes shit happen for them. And whatever explanation you can come up with, like it's God molding you for a purpose, or it's Satan trying to bring you down, take you away from your purpose. And just like stay strong, stay strong, stay strong, no matter what. Trust God, stay strong, stay strong, stay strong. Then there's like the psychological side of it, where it's like, well, you're putting yourself in these situations, or you just have to leave, or you just have to find your people, or you just have to take more risk in life. You're caught up in your family system. You're caught up in it. You need to heal your nervous system, and then you will stop attracting horrible people and letting horrible people into your life. You need boundaries. More coping mechanisms. More. Take a walk. Have a bath. Watch a movie. These are the things they told me yesterday when I called 988 and when I had the people come to my house. Watch a movie. And somehow the problems will go away. My issue is not my feelings about these problems. My issue is the problems themselves. So here I am, I'm just like, finally, like it's quiet enough and I'm alone where I can be like, what are my actual options here? Because last night, the option of leaving my children with my husband and his family, it became an option. Like I never considered that before. So obviously now I just feel like I'm in this blind spot of like, I cannot see straight. I have tunnel vision in regards to like even thinking about what options do I really have. I am a free human being no one can control me. So, what are my real, actual options? Just like booking a Greyhound ticket, the fact that I've been able to leave and go anywhere I want on this planet just because I had the money in my account never dawned on me until last night. With the click of a button, with the click of a button, with the click of a button and the money, I'm going to the beach. And that type of freedom never registered for me. Because I've been so caught up with people who want to control me and what I do with my children and what I do with my life and how I see myself. Why would any of these people around me want me to realize how easy life could be and should be? Even I know it shouldn't be this hard, and it's not this hard. For millions of people, it's not this hard. Everyone on this planet is not struggling. But of course, if someone benefits from you struggling because they're using you, they will try to convince you that you're mentally ill, you need to go on medication. The medication is not for you to start succeeding and, level up and accomplish your goals. The medication, when these type of people suggest medication to you, it is so you can stop reacting to the treatment, the disrespect, the abuse, whatever it may be. The medication is being suggested so you stop reacting and making people uncomfortable with their behavior. That's what that's about. And that's why I do not want to just be on prescriptions morning and night for the rest of my life, when this is me alone. And when I get around people, the issue arises. And then those people tell me I need to be medicated because I'm mentally ill. Including the doctors You think your therapist may have your best interest in mind. Your therapist has potentially hundreds of other clients. Some therapists do not want to see you for longer than a certain period of time because that means your problem's not getting fixed. Others, they want you to always have a problem because it benefits them. That's their job. That's how they make money, is from your problems. So you can never know anybody's intentions. As long as someone is getting paid or benefiting financially from you, like, how can you really trust them? Can you really trust that they have your best interest in mind, or are they trying to keep you as a cash cow? I just cannot look at people the same anymore. I just can't, because that would be it wouldn't be wise. But I feel like I'm starting to realize that, like, I'm in these transactional types of relationships because mentally, emotionally, I have to have been exposed to transactional types of relationships. And so that's what I've been living in, to the point where I can't even see my own humanity or freedom outside of transactions anymore. The whole glossing over somebody's feelings and needs to be like, okay, what can you do for me? And I'm engaging in it. Like, I'm doing it. Yesterday, my husband complained about, like, he's been complaining about me asking him to go get, like, our deliveries when they come to the door. It doesn't, it could be groceries, Uber Eats, Instacart, just like deliveries to the door. And now that I'm kind of, removed, I'm just like, wow, yeah, this does just function back and forth between us as, can you do this for me? I need you to do this for me. Can you? Will you? I need you to. This is how it goes between us, back and forth. Back and forth. You're not doing, why can't you just do, perform, function? What is that? That's the exact type of marriage I thought I was not in. Can you just do right? Can you just be right? Or you never do this, or you never do that, or you always do this, or you always do that. So because you won't do, that means you are blank, insert negative conclusion. My family acted the same way toward me. You won't do this, therefore you are that. You don't want to blank, so that means you are this. But I realized after I got the apartment that Anne had some money to my name finally. You know, I realized that there's always going to be another transaction that these people want from me. My husband wants from me. So it wasn't any praise in getting my first apartment and finally moving out, even though for the past decade, my entire 20s, my family had criticized me making assumptions about anything under the sun that has to do with adulting toward me because I hadn't moved out. Yet when I did, nothing. My husband, when we were boyfriend and girlfriend, used to always criticize me and tell me I don't know how anything is because I don't have to pay bills. I don't have to pay rent. My credit card, I had exceptional credit, y'all. So paying off my credit card, keeping my credit high meant nothing. That wasn't a bill to him. And then my phone bill, that wasn't a bill to him. Those didn't count as responsibility. Because I wasn't paying rent, I was spoiled and ungrateful. But I got the apartment and paid off a full year, was able to do that. Silence. Silence. I'm still irresponsible. I'm still irresponsible. And when it comes to other bills, it's oh, you should have known. You should have known. What do you think happens when you don't pay a bill? What do you think happens when this, that, and the other? It just becomes, it morphs into something else. So even the sentiment, I need to be better. I feel like the people in my life do not allow for themselves or anybody they associate with to exist as they are. That person always has to be doing or being what they want. And when you don't do or be who they want you to be or need you to be financially, if you show any type of emotion, you're now in the way. You're just in the way and you get ignored. If that's what happened. I'm not being calm enough for my husband from what I found on his phone. So I get discarded. I'm not keeping my mouth quiet and letting him be lazy and act like a child and play video games all day long. So therefore, I get punished. Because everyone else lets him live in his own little fantasy and requires nothing of him except money. But even when you have the money, if you're not using it properly, discard. If the money's not benefiting them, bye. And in my family, I realized this pattern recently before my brother got extradited. He just kept repeating. It was in regards to my sister and her situation. My sister is co-parenting with the father of her child, her daughter. And instead of thinking, wow, how did I do the right thing, right? My sister did all the right things you're supposed to do. My sister graduated high school. She worked. She got through college. She went to business school, y'all. She's very much golden child coded. Okay. She moved out. She was living on her own, had multiple different cars over the years, always on the upgrade, traveling, having fun, enjoying herself, got herself a house, and then got pregnant. And how did she still become a single mom? Co-parenting. Explain that. But instead of thinking about that, how the heck did that happen? Why did I end up with a man who was that like mismatched at that age, in her late 30s, right? Instead of anybody asking that question, my brother's perspective, and maybe her perspective, I won't speak on it because I didn't speak to her about it, about that particular aspect. My brother's perspective is, yeah, she said he just didn't do right. He just didn't, what was the term? That the father of my niece didn't get things done like our dad always does regarding bills. Regarding bills and traditional masculine roles, like bills and tending to the yard. That's what our dad did. Go to work, pay the bills on time, and tend to the yard. And tend to the cars. And that was why she somehow stayed with him long enough to have a child. But so now, of course, looking back on that statement, that really stupid statement, it was stupid to me before, because I'm like, yo, there's a lot more to life than all of that, especially in a relationship. There's a lot more to that than maintaining the household. The household won't keep you together. The house is not what's supposed to be keeping you together. But now I've heard this from two different women, two different single moms, where they refer to the man as they were best friends, or that they thought they were going to go from relationship to some kind of best friends, that term best friends, after separating. A man will never be your best friend unless he's your husband, and unless he's the right husband. You can never call a man your best friend. So to hear these women, and the lady yesterday on 988, that's how she referred to her child's father, one of them. And I'm just like, it's not a term I would ever use for a man. Any man. I don't even use that term for my husband now. But I have seen some marriages and heard of some marriages where they really are best friends and they just have like that type of foundation. But that's built after some years of marriage. So that to me is a weird idea. being friends with guys was always a weird idea for me, regardless. So that's where I'm coming from. But um, yeah, I remember meeting my niece's father, of course, before they ever got pregnant. I didn't like him. I remember he didn't actually seem to like my sister. And I didn't appreciate it because even though I barely spent any time with my sister, the time I have spent with her, her personality is very clear. Like, she's funny, bright, bubbly. You know, just imagine like that specific type of woman who works in the office, like who works in like journalism. Like, just imagine that kind of girl, that kind of woman. That's who she is. So for him to be so like lackluster with her in our presence, didn't like him. And then at the baby shower, I remember he was just there. Like, there was no like affection. They were probably broken up by that baby shower, to be quite honest with you. I believe they were. But regardless, yeah, just transactions all over the place. I feel like in that perspective, it was kind of like, your job is to give me baby, and because I'm in my late 30s, I'm a man in my late 30s, early 40s, and I still don't have baby, and probably his mom was pressuring him to have a grandchild, so he just used the easiest woman there. Because my sister said they had known each other for 10 years, and then like all of a sudden y'all worked together for 10 years, and now all of a sudden yeah, that I don't, obviously, after living the life that I've lived, I think that was pretty targeted on his part, maybe on hers too, because she was getting older as well and didn't have any children, and it was approaching her last couple years of ability to have children. So I don't know. That's just to express to you that it's a family of transactions, and I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it. And now I've gotten roped into it. So I'm assuming that's where all these materialistic, money hungry comments come from toward me. It's a projection, but also because I'm engaging in the transactional relationship subconsciously. But yeah. Yeah, just pondering. What are my real options? Not the options that people want me to believe I have, the limited options people want me to believe I have. What are my real, actual options? I'm just trying to come out of this horrible fog and actually start seriously thinking about, okay, what are my rights as a human being? Like, what does me existing here in this life as a human being, what does that mean that I'm free to do? Like, what am I free to do which can be attained and nobody can stop me? Like, what are my freedoms? And of course, it may be getting too philosophical, but I'm not talking about by the law or by this country. I'm talking about God given rights and freedom as a living, breathing, creating, thinking human. Things I just never had the time to consider because it's been do, perform, go, progress. What's your progress report? What's your progress report? Why are you taking so long? You don't do anything all day. All you do is blank. Obviously, I'm scared. I haven't traveled anywhere by myself, but I have the freedom to do that, which I realized last night. Like, I am not trapped in my state. I'm not on house arrest. That's something I also need to remember. I'm not on house arrest with my husband, but I've been acting like I am. And he wants me to act like I am. So that's where I get all this guilt, all the guilt tripping from. You moved so far away to do what? To cheat? Oh, what were you really doing at the mall? Where did you really go? I'm not on house arrest and I'm not going to jail. So, you know, just to get caught up with someone who's incarcerated just really, I feel like it's really messed with my brain really badly. And it's unfortunate that when I kind of got the taste of financial freedom for the first time, it was mixed in during this time where I'm involved with someone who's incarcerated, which is probably one of the largest financial drains on a family is an incarcerated man. So you know, the freedom didn't register until just now when it's almost all gone. Most of it went to him.